Hey folks, welcome back to Gaming Garbage where we take a look at games, chat about the gaming news of the industry, and of course, stream for fun. Today we're talking about Highguard, and well, partly. And I feel like that this should clearly be a clear signal at this point. I mean, Highguard is just another example of another live service game that has failed. Now, of course, I can't show them all, but there has been a lot. Currently, well, let's take a look at Highguard first. The rating has been coming up. Okay, where we were in like the high 20s for a review, and now we're at 35, almost 36. But again, the um, player counts are just super dropped off. I mean, we were almost at 100,000, and now we're almost down to nothing. Now it is a weekday. Okay, we'll see how the weekend um, shows up and what happens. But again, having played it myself, it's just not great. And if you kind of want my thoughts, I'll leave that video at the end. But the other thing, too, that I want to show is just the top games that are played right now, most played, most hours. Counter-Strike 2, well, that makes sense because people can make money in it. But Dota 2, Battlegrounds, Bongo Can't, Arc Raiders is still up there. Terraria, Wallpaper Engine, Apex is still there. Delta Force, which is actually beating Battlefield 6, Rust, Stardew Valley, Grand Theft Autos, Marvel Rivals, and Warframe. And again, some of these are definitely live service games, but they're older ones. And yeah, my point here is that whether it's Battlefield, taking a look at the charts, we're still hitting almost 100,000 players on the weekend, which is still pretty good. There's plenty of possibility to be made there. But again, we also had over 700,000 that started at launch. And a lot of people have just tapped out. We also had FC Firebreak, which still wasn't necessarily a bad reviewed game, but it had its peaks of 2,000 basically, at least on Steam, and then it was just kind of done, and it died really quick. Now, of course, all live service kind of goes down and trends down pretty quickly, but I would say it's even faster now. It's way faster, because like Battlefield was like 6-7 weeks. And like it was done, right? And Battlefield 6 was also always on sale on Steam. We also had Fragpunk. Okay, this game worked on coming out, and we had Steam charts, and again, it had a peak of 113,000, almost 114,000. But again, look how quickly it just tapered off there. And now we're getting to not even 2,000 per day. On the weekend, we're getting to 2,000, 2,100. But again, it's never going to recover, and I highly doubt that is really going to sustain the game. We also have Marvel Rivals, which ultimately did pretty good. But again, we had a peak of 600,000, and we have about 147,000 for a peak. But again, the big push was back here, and again, a lot of people just kind of tapped out fairly early in just the first 2 or 3 months. And that was kind of it. And yeah, we'll probably be fairly sustained here, for a while. This looks actually really steady on the chart. But again, a lot of people just tapped out and don't play it anymore. Veilguard was actually supposed to be a live service game. This was Dreadwolf, and they changed it to Veilguard, well, because they were changing the game. And we got to see, too, that a lot of people, again, enjoyed it, but you could see all of those live service elements in there, and people are still playing it today, and it's a story-driven game, I understand that. But again, just the amount of backlash that the game had, how boring it was, because again, it was all live servicey. That was really the push, and they had to leave a lot of those elements in there. Otherwise, they had to completely, redo and redesign the entire game. And that's partly why I hate live service games, is because the game has to be catered around the store. The focus is the store, not the game. We'll also take a look at Concord. Well, this was basically 12 days and it was over. And every once in a while, there's somebody that's playing on it, right? The devs or whatever. But again, this didn't even hit 1,000 players on Steam. This was really bad. And this is why the design of your characters really matters, the way that you're promoting things. And again, this wasn't really anything different than just another Overwatch. And so, yeah, people are like, man, what are we doing here? We also had Suicide Squad, which a lot of people were pretty excited for. This was Warner Brother Games, but this basically forced Warner Brothers to actually sell as a company. They're selling to Netflix. Looks like they're going to buy them, as long as it's approved by the United States government. But yeah, again, this was just not very good. It was a live service game. It's not really what people wanted. We had 13,000 players on Steam And again, we've had some players kind of come back. This is very interesting. What's on during this weekend? There's kind of like this spike right here. But anyway, we had some players come back, but again, the characters just weren't good. I mean, we had Mrs. Freeze, we had Lawless, we had the Joker, which didn't seem like the Joker. Harley Quinn didn't seem like Harley Quinn either. Just everything seemed off about the lore. It was just incredibly frustrating. But again, it was all built around a live service game. So everything was very generic. The combat was very generic. How to travel and get around was generic. I mean, it was awful. I couldn't really play past the tutorial. It was hilariously bad. But we also have games like Fortnite, which still has quite a few players that come back, and we've actually seen this kind of. It was kind of a little low, right? But we've kind of had this resurgence toward the end of 2025 and going into 2026 is that we're actually hitting some pretty good player counts. Total players is over 2 million pretty much every single week on the weekend. And that's where we see that spike. So a lot of people are coming on, and we see too that player counts kind of jive up and down and go kind of wherever. But Fortnite has made over $40 billion by now. Like, just think of that, 40 billion with a B. And this is why the chase and the trend keeps happening, is that they are trying to find games like this that can actually produce that kind of cash, or at least a good amount of cash. But the thing that's interesting here is that people have already invested into a particular game, and they're not really willing to invest anywhere else. So this is PlayStation Time Tracker. Again, this is only 17,000 volunteers that volunteer their data, and you can too ultimately if you're on PlayStation. Just add Track Lion to your friends list, and there you go. They'll keep track of your stuff, and you can be part of the data too. But yeah, the thing that I think is just super crazy is that it's Fortnite, it's Grand Theft Auto 5, it's Roblox, it's FC26, Minecraft, Arc Raiders is still there, Rocket League, Marvel Rivals, Siege, NBA 2K26. NBA is always there, it feels like. Number 11 is Call of Duty, and Overwatch is number 12. Apex Legends, Red Dead Redemption, Dead by Daylight. Battlefield is number 16. Rust, Warframe, Genshin Impact, Cyberpunk, Elden Ring, Madden, Gran Turismo, Ghost of Yotei, Elden Ring, Night Rain, Destiny, Valorant, Clair Obscur. I mean, this just the games that have been around for a while. That's what people are playing. They're already invested. When we take a look at Xbox, it's the same thing. These are the top 25 games. This just released, by the way. That was on the 20th. It's like a Street Fighter game. 2v2 kind of style. But these are the games that are actually played on just this Series X and S. And this is what they're focused on. And it's not really any of the new stuff. It's kind of the established franchise or games that have already been there. And my point is that when we have games like Highguard, well, we've already seen it all before. And I would totally agree. It's got elements of Apex in there. It's got elements of Overwatch, some elements maybe too of Call of Duty and some other stuff. And it's like there's nothing new to the table. But again, they're chasing that Fortnite game because it's still up there, really close to the top. No matter where we go, it's always in the top 3 or top 5. Like without fail. And again, there's just so many people that actually play the game. But Fortnite has also expanded too. It's not just the game anymore. It's Lego Life and all of these cross collaborations and stuff with building and without building and different type of modes. And there's like a creative mode and like there's so many different things that they have now in the game. And I think that's why the players actually come back. I think this is going to be the future where a game is going to launch and then it's going to become a platform for people to play and kind of do what they want. And it's going to be kind of like an all-encompassing game. Because when we had Highguard, it just has one game mode. That's it. 3v3, attack the base, blow up 2 different points with charges, and you win. And that's it. That's pretty much it. It's a pretty basic game. It would get old after a while. And there's just not enough there. So, and again, we're going to probably keep seeing some of these games because these games take 4-7 years to make, And we're going to keep seeing them probably through the rest of 2020s. But I think 2030s, as we're already seeing the shift now, is that stuff is moving more toward the story again, the characters again, the experience for the player, not the combat and the competition and all of that stuff. And if you're older like me, I'm going to be 36 this year, I just can't compete with somebody that's 20 years old or even 25 years old. Maybe I can be a little bit smarter with tactics to a degree, but again, I'm not good, right? I'm not good. And I would rather play games that are PvE focused, like Destiny or like Helldivers 2. Or that I wished Arc Raiders was more PvE, but it's going to push more toward PvP, which I'm not excited about that. That's why I didn't buy it. But this is eventually, there's so many games, right? But my point is that live service has matured. It's there. I mean, we're working on year 11 of straight up live service games. The first ones that we had was Rainbow Six Siege, 2015. After that was Overwatch for 2016, actually won Game of the Year. After that was Fortnite in 2017. Pretty soon after that, we had Apex and we had Warzone and we had, which was Black Cell back then. And we've had tons of other games too that have pushed toward live service and have ultimately failed. I mean, we've been having failures since 2020. Some fairly big ones. Capcom and Square Enix and the Take Two, they've tried different games and it just hasn't really gone anywhere. And while I don't think live service is going away, I certainly think that it has matured to a point where people aren't going to move away from what they're already playing, what they've already been investing in. If it's kind of a forever game, like Fortnite, well, yeah, Fortnite and Minecraft and Grand Theft Auto 5 for a long time, and COD, NBA, okay, they're going to be there for a while, right? Rocket League, Marvel Rivals, they're going to be there for a long time. But games that are kind of series, like COD, and college football or Forza, right, or Mortal Kombat, they have a particular audience and they're going to continue to focus on those types of games. But if you're brand new, like Highguard, like Firebreak, like Fragpunk, like, again, Veilguard just went the wrong way, unfortunately, or like a new one like Concord, people just aren't going to care. I think they're going to be more curious than excited. So it's not going to matter if it's $40 or if it's free. People just aren't going to care. And I think the games that we have coming up, like Marathon, again, I just don't think it's going to matter. People are going to be curious. They're going to be maybe excited to a degree. But again, it's like, what can Marathon honestly offer that's different from what's already existed the last 10 years in the live service genre? I don't think anything, really. I mean, they already had to take it off, pull it back, redo a bunch of stuff, put it back out there. They've adjusted some things like proximity chat, and they've made some of the robots easier and whatever. But again, what are they really going to provide that's different? We'll see, I guess. But yeah, live service has just tapped out. And I think the thing going forward is that we're going to go back to story games. We're going to go back to experiences. We're going to go back to characters that we used to love and used to engage with. And not to say that live service can't be connected with those, but that live service is no longer going to be like the direct focus. And unfortunately, there's still games in the pipeline that are all built around live service. And, well, they're going to have to launch anyway or get scrapped, like I think Fair Games will. Or like the other, roughly 10 games that PlayStation had. They scrapped a bunch. But I think the story and the characters, I think they're going to come back. Or that the game has to be a game first and a live service second, just like Forza Horizon. Because Forza Horizon 6, that looks really good, that people are excited for that. And again, it's a live service game, but it's a game first. And I'm hoping we're going to shift back toward that, because how many more Highguards and Suicide Squads and Fire Breaks and Frag Punks can we have? If it's super cheap to make and maintain, hey, have at it. Get your couple thousand players, have a good time. But I'm sure it costs more than that. So anyway, we'll see you guys with that, folks. I'll see you guys on the next one.